welcome to this live. I hope that the session has begun on your device and you are able to see me and hear me. Well, it's been a while since I managed to come live, and I'm really happy I could do it today. So let us begin the discussion. Today we are discussing MELDI. Now, many of you might not know who MELDI is. Okay, MELDI is known as Masani MELDI. Okay, now before we begin, we have to understand a few concepts. Okay, like what is Masan and all of that. So we'll get into that. But first, let us take a moment to do the Shabari Sumeru, without which you cannot talk about any Shabari Vidya. Alright, and I've already explained what Shabari mantras were. Shabari mantras were created by Guru Gorakhnath and Matsendranath and the other Naths, because a lot of common people could not pronounce Sanskrit. And the whole system of puja and offerings and all was very confined to the Brahmins, of course. And even in the tantric system, the huge anushtans were very difficult. It was not possible for all to do that. So how is a common person going to invoke the goddess? How is the common person going to practice mantra and achieve salvation? Now these are things that really plagued Guru Gorakhnath and Guru Matsendranath. They wanted to bring the soul knowledge to everybody, not just restricted to certain castes, which is why Shabari mantras are created in vernacular language. Shabari mantras are already Siddh mantras, but they cannot be recited by listening to someone recite or by reading them online. Shabari mantras have to be Gurumukhi, without which there is no efficacy in the Shabari Vidya, and there are certain prayogas that one must do while performing Shabari Vidya. So this was a little background about the whole Shabari system, and I'll tell you one thing, that tantric kriyas can become quite challenging for not just common Indian people, but for also a lot of the people from around the world who want to do practice this form of worship, you know. So Shabari Vidya becomes really invaluable for people like that, because first and foremost is pronunciations are really easy. Then do not go looking for meanings of Shabari mantras, because there are no conventional meanings to Shabari mantras. Alright, oftentimes I explain to people that what is the meaning of Bij mantras, Om Gam or Om Gam. What is the meaning? It means that, hey Ganpati, please protect me and please let me flourish. But in actuality, it is just a bij, it is a sound frequency. So also with Shabari Vidya, many of the words are not easily understood. They are not even words in the Hindi vocabulary or in any other language. So we have to understand that each Shabari mantra is a Siddh mantra, but it must be received in the Gurumukhi Padhvati. It cannot be read, it cannot be listened to and practiced. So this is very important. So let's begin. How are Shabari mantras recited? Before reciting any Shabari mantra, the Siddhi of Shabari Sumeru must be done. This I've mentioned many times. And this is not only an invocation to the Guru, equivalent of Guru Pujan actually, but this also is a very powerful Deha Suraksha mantra. Alright, Sumeru means the spinal cord. So this is literally the spinal cord of all the Shabari Vidya. Alright. It is Guru Sat Guru hai Veer, Guru Sahib Simraon badi bhaat, Singhi Toro One Ko Manno Kartar Sakal Gurun ka Har Bache Khatta Pakado Jaag, Chet Samhar Shri Paramhams. And Shabari mantras are recited very quickly. They are not recited slowly. And there is no gap or pause after one recitation. So it's difficult in the beginning to work with the tempo, which is why Shabari mantras always have to be memorized. Before the real kriya can begin, the real prayoga can begin, you have to memorize the mantra. Alright, so when we say Guru Sat Guru hai Veer, that means with this mantra, we are invoking Adinath, Guru Matsyendranath and Gorakhnath and the Navanathas. So this particular mantra is very, very important, and the siddhi of this mantra must be done. And after that, after you've done already siddhi of this mantra, when you are doing Shabari practice, one mala of this is absolutely, like, you cannot skip that. Okay, so mandatory. So we begin with that. Then of course we have to do Ganesh Pujan, like in any tantric system. Without Ganesh, there is no tantric siddhi. Same, without Ganesh, there is no Shabari siddhi. Okay, so this is very, very important, that this vidya was given to us through the Naths Sampradaya during the time of Kali Yuga, because tantric kriyas, tantric prayogas were very difficult. Okay, Sanskrit beejas, everybody could not pronounce them. Everybody could not sit for hours and complete 2 lakh, 3 lakh Purushcharan, right? So how is one to pursue spirituality? How is one to pursue the path of mysticism? Which is why this vidya is the vidya of Kali Yuga. Yes, I know I've said tantric vidya is the vidya of Kali Yuga, definitely, but it's for, how shall I say, people who want to do more. But there's a way to do things. You don't always have to work very hard, you can work smart. Which is why these mantras were created in the vernacular. So normal people can practice them. And they were siddh. With each mantra rides the energy of a Nath, of a Devi, of Bhairav, of Ganesh. Alright, so their energy is already tied to that mantra. And if you receive that mantra in the Gurumukhi way, then that mantra is also has the same potency, has the same efficacy for you as well. So this was a little bit about, first we began with understanding what is Shabari Vidya, because today we are going to discuss in great detail about Ma Masani MELDI. Now, MELDI is actually a Shakti that always travels with Ma Kali. I've mentioned this in many videos before, that when you start Kali sadhana, when you start Bhairav sadhana, even when you start Ganpati sadhana, certain Shaktis start walking with you. Alright? And that's why many times I've also explained to students that the alcohol is not offered to Bhairav Baba or to Ma Kali, because they have Amrit, Soma, that drops from their cranium. They don't need alcohol. But with Ma Kali, there travels Ganas. Like with Ganpati, there are the Vinayaks, the Ganas that travel with him. So when you are invoking Ganpati, the Ganas are the first ones to come around and create obstacles for you. That's why one of Ganpati's names, there were actually 11 Vinayaks, 15 Vinayaks at one point. Alright, that's why his name was also Vigna Karta, creator of obstacles. So that's why when you start doing sadhana, there are other Shaktis and energies that walk with the Devi or the Devata. Alright, so we've already tried to understand that Ganesh is the archetype of stability. Kali is the electromagnetic force. Alright, Mahadev is the atom, the atomic force, so on and so forth. We've tried to understand how Dhumavati could be equal to Hawking radiation, right? We've tried to understand how Tripura Sundari is like the illumination of stellar nurseries, when light finally comes into play. So on and so forth, we've tried to understand the Dasha Mahavidyas as all the animating principle that we see around us. I can't believe someone's actually calling me. So it's like, whoever's calling me, you are from the group, don't call me. I'm doing a live. Have some respect. Don't call me now. So what I want to say is that when you worship Ma Kali or Bhairav, certain energies, look, for instance, with Ma Kali, it's always the yoginis. When you become a Kali worshipper, again, oh my God, so sorry for that. Anyways, I was saying that when you worship Kali, the yoginis always come first and try to set tests for you, right? So I think I was talking about Shakti, the Mahavidyas being the animating principle, the life in every single thing, in every atom, in every nebula, in every galaxy. All right. So MELDI is the hidden 11th Mahavidya. Now we know the 10 Mahavidyas: Kali, Tara, Sodashi, Bhuvaneshwari, Bhairavi, Chinnamasta, Dhumavati, Bagala, Matangi and Kamalatmika. These are the 10 Mahavidyas, right? But there is an 11th Mahavidya. I mean, there are infinite forms of the goddess, of course, right? So the infinite forms of the goddess. And the ancient tantrics saw the 10 sides. That's why the 10 Mahavidyas were popularized. We also get into the Matrika worship. The Sapta Matrika worship actually became Ashtamatrika worship. Later on again, 7 Matas were prayed to in all the little villages, little hamlets. You'd have the Sapta Matas that were being prayed to. And Shitala, the head of the Sapta Matas, the Sat Matas, is none other than Masani MELDI. So she is the 11th form of the goddess, and her story is very, very interesting, and we'll get into that. First, we have to understand that Ma MELDI's worship falls under Kamakhya Tantra. Okay, it's many tantrics would worship Bhairav, the Dasha Mahavidyas, in the Tantric Padvati, Kolachar Padvati. That's, you have Vamachar, Dakshinachar, all of that in that. But certain sadhaks were more interested in the Smashan sadhana side of it. Now, many people tend to think that, people who go to the Smashans are only doing black magic. And nothing could be further from that. The Smashan is nothing but a transit point. It's a point when you are reminded of the impermanence of life. It is a portal through which many souls travel. So it's absolutely incorrect to presume that everybody who goes to the Smashan to do sadhana is a black magician. They are not. Oftentimes, only in the Smashan can you do the Panchamundi sadhana, can you do the Shatamundi sadhana. You can't do certain kriyas anywhere, even if you have sattvic tendencies. In fact, especially for people who do Smashan sadhana, sattvic tendencies are very, very important. And because it's become more of a show, because it's become more of a spectacle now, that on Instagram we have Aghori Babas taking selfies with corpses and what have you. It's become something that has shock value. But believe me, it is nothing like that. It is not, has nothing to do with shock value. It has nothing to do with any of this, okay? There was a time, of course, when a lot of tantrics, Vamacharis began to use Shavasadhana as a way to attract grihasthis, because grihasthis don't understand about sadhana, siddhi, corpses. They're scared of corpses, right? So taking that thing that is taboo and shocking, they wanted to also influence and get many people to come. So that is why a lot of Vamachara Tantra became nothing but a shock factor. And then after that, it got more convoluted with Westerners coming in and bringing in their own brand of Tantra, right? That now we know as Neo-Tantra. So there were already these insidious, devious people who wanted to shock the ordinary people. And then, look, I'm on a corpse, come, look at me, give me money, right? And you want to go give the money because God, this man sitting on a corpse. He must have all the answers to life, right? He eats human flesh, but that nothing could be further than that. Aghoris actually do not all eat human flesh. Alright, but a lot of the Masanis, they do eat human flesh. That is absolutely correct. So now we'll get into Masana Sadhana and all that, because I've already told you that MELDI is known as Masani MELDI. We'll get to all that, but first things first is, anybody, please excuse me, I'd like a sip of my black tea. First and foremost, to anybody who worships MELDI, you cannot reveal this to anyone. For those of you that have not seen her, that is her. I don't think you have a direct way to perceive her. So I'm going to bring her picture. This is the 11th hidden mahavidya, and she is the goddess who will help you deal with the filth of Kali Yuga. And I'll explain to you why. Why is she called MELDI? Because she originated from the male or dirt of all the goddesses. From the hands, the excrement would not be the correct word. The dirt in their hand that they dusted off created Ma MELDI. Alright. So this is she, and yes, she is. So we will be talking about her. So I'd like to keep her here so you guys can see. And of course, a diya, a jyot has to be lit in her name, and her vidya has to be Gurumukhi. It cannot be done by anybody just watching this video. I absolutely do not recommend that. So what happens is that you do not, first things first is you do not reveal to anyone that you worship MELDI Mata. Yes. Wow, very nice. So you do not reveal to anyone that you worship MELDI Mata. That is like the first thing. You do not reveal that you worship her. Another thing I want to mention is that a lot of tantrics on YouTube, because she is known as Chowk Chodai Ki Mata, the lady of the crossroads, the goddess of the crossroads. Because she is known as the goddess of the crossroads, many tantrics are now advising grihasthas, people who don't know any better, that please put Chowk Chodai Ki Devi outside your house. And that is not correct. If you do that, then believe me, you're going to go through a lot of complications. Don't do that. But you cannot keep her on the altar with the other gods and goddesses, of course. You see, MELDI Devi is actually the Kul Devi of many Bharatiya people. Many Bharatiya people are from her Kul. Okay. So they definitely should be offering Bhog Prasad to MELDI Mai. If you are not, then please begin, especially if she is your Kul Devi. Alright. So she is actually, for many people who don't even know who their Kul Devi is. Now Kul Devita is another topic we'll talk about another day. But the basic funda is that if the Kul Devi is not pleased with you, then you cannot graduate to the next level of tantric learning. So I have explained to you how MELDI Ma was created from the dirt of the Mahavidyas. And what does this mean? That means that she is but an amalgamation of the Mahavidyas, and we'll get into that actually. So all the Matrakas, the Devis and everybody, they were actually pursuing a demon, an Asura. And the Asura, he knew that the Shaktis were after him. So he ran and he hid inside the carcass of a cow. So now the Mahavidyas are Shuddh. They're Shuddh Vidyas. Okay. So they are not going to enter the carcass of a cow, right? And there's just, of course, heavy symbolism with all of this. Okay. It's not to be taken literally again. So they did not want to enter into the carcass of the cow. So they got together and they hatched a plan, and they began to, just dust the dirt from their hands like that. And the dirt that amalgamated formed MELDI Mata, alright? And she was created. So this is her creation story, and there's of course a lot of inner symbolism, and only people who I don't like the way that some people say, I work with that deity or I work with that energy. I don't subscribe to that ideology. You don't get to work with them. I mean, you'd be lucky if they want to work with you. All you can say is that worshipping the Devi. Alright, like worshipping the Devi. So for those who are interested to know her worship, only those people will truly understand the meaning behind why she is created from dirt. And we have the same kind of origin story also with Matangi. Alright, with Matangi. Matangi was also created from Uchishta. And if you notice that she is also blue, right? And Matangi also has a blue form, and Uchishta Ganapati also has a blue form. Alright, so there's something very special about Uchishta Devatas. Alright, about Uchishta Devatas, something very special. Many an ignorant person on YouTube may tell you that please don't worship Uchishta Devatas, but they are stupid. Alright, and not only are they stupid, they have not got the grace of these Devatas, because these Devatas are really easy to appease. Alright, I know a lot of kriyas, prayogas, tantras. I can, when you come to me for a workshop, I can give you a very difficult kriya. I can give you 3 lakh Purashcharans. I can give you 30,000 tarpans, like so on and so forth. Understand? But you being a normal person from Kali Yuga, presumably, yes, I had to down it because it was already cold. So I had to down it right now. And so, you are a normal person of Kali Yuga just like me. And I don't have so much time to sit down, do 3 lakh Purashcharans, to do Tarpan, Marjan, Havan, Bhojan. I don't have time for that. I have a family, I have my work, I have my health, I have my animals that I care for. I don't have so much time to do that. That takes at least 4 to 5 hours every day. I mean, still me, I do at least 2.5 hours. And still I feel that it's not enough. And I mean, I wish I had more time in the day. So the practices that I bring to you are practices that don't need a lot of effort. Alpaya said Veena Kashte Japamatrena Siddhidam. Now who can tell me where this line is from? For the people who know, you know. For the people who don't know, this is from Uchishta Ganapati Kavach. Alpaya said Veena Kashte Japamatrena Siddhidam. What does this mean? It means with a little effort, teeny tiny effort, you will get siddhi. Who wants to hear that? Nobody wants to work hard anymore, right? Nobody wants to work hard. We want to know the hack. What is the hack? So the whole point of bringing in the Uchishta Ganpati sadhana, Matangi sadhana, Uchishta Chandalini sadhana, MELDI sadhana is, this is the hack. This is how you can achieve a lot without a lot of effort. And I mean, I want to put in a lot of effort, honestly. I want to do a lot more, but I don't have the opportunity to. Because just like you, I am going through my own life and, living my own life. And I have my own commitments. So the spiritual energy, the spiritual time that people spend, the energy and the time that people spend after spiritual pursuits has greatly diminished. Because in Kali Yuga, we have only one leg of dharma that is active. One leg of dharma. In Satya Yuga, we had 4 legs of dharma. So one leg of dharma, how are you going to do all this 3 lakh Purush Charan, 8 lakh Purush Charan? How are you going to sit in swastikasana for so long? I mean, I just recently had a girl, and in the beginning she could not even sit down, on the floor. I told her, I said, don't do swastikasana. I mean, of course I teach swastikasana to all my students. And I said, don't do, and I tell all of my students the same thing, that don't practice if it hurts you. You have to work with your body, you have to work with yourself, okay? And this girl, she could barely even sit for like 10 minutes, and then she hurt her knee. And then she tells me that, oh, it's because of the swastikasana. Please understand, I'm going to teach you everything, but obviously if you're such an unfit person that you can't even sit down for, and swastikasana is really easy. And this woman was like, I think 30, 32 max or 35 max. So this is the level of people we are talking about. And after that experience, I tell everybody that this is how what swastikasana. Padmasana, I don't even want to get to. Like, who will sit in Padmasana for so long? Make somebody sit in Padmasana for 5 minutes. Forget 5 minutes, 30 seconds to hold the perfect Padmasana. Most people cannot sit in swastikasana. They sit in sukhasana. Even when I'm talking to you, I am sitting in swastikasana. I sit in swastikasana for 6 hours, 8 hours when I have workshops. Padmasana I hold for at least 2-3 hours, and then I'll let go and do swastikasana. So I mean, this is the level we have come to understand. That I tell all my students that please, I'm going to teach you Padmasana, I'm going to teach you swastikasana, but if your body doesn't agree to it, don't do it. I'm not holding a gun to your head. So you have to do swastikasana. I'm teaching you what's ancient. But if your body cannot deal with that, think of the backlog, think of the hard work and discipline you have to put into yourself. So this is something I tell all my students, that please understand your body. Understand yourself. So coming back to the hack. MELDI is one such hack. Alright. Because everything in Kali Yuga is mela. Mela means dirty. Now nobody likes dirt, right? I mean, if somebody likes dirt, then we think there's something mentally wrong with them, right? I have watched videos on YouTube where people have gone in, and maybe like NGOs and people like that have gone into people's houses to clean and to see that kind of depredation when a person doesn't clean the house for like a year, 2 years. There's just dirty food everywhere, just dirt. And we can't say that in the right mind anybody can stay in a situation like that, right? But we see people giving into dirt. People wear shoes and climb on the bed. Now, thankfully, after coronavirus, that is not so prevalent anymore. If you're educated, you know that shoes bring in bacteria. You don't want to take it to the bed. Basics, right? So, yes, God bless you, of course. So this is how it is, okay? This is Kali Yuga. People are all looking for the hack. No one wants to wait. It's instant coffee, instant McDonald's. Nobody wants to wait for a meal or cook a meal. Just get some stuff and put it in the microwave. Microwave is very hazardous to your health, by the way. So, MELDI is one such hack, the hidden Mahavidya, who the Naths Sampradaya worshipped. Alright, I've even spoken about Lona Chamadi. And today we will speak about another very powerful tantric from Bengal, Priya Bangalan. We'll talk about her also. And I'll also go back to Lona Chamari's story. I don't know how long I have. Okay, it's just 30 minutes. Okay, so we're going to do about an hour and a half more of this conversation. And of course, you're going to hear stuff you've never heard before. Because that is my specialty, as you know. So we'll get right into it, that she was created from the male of the Mahavidya's hands. So she is the energy that can destroy dirt. You cannot destroy dirt if you do not bring in hardcore cleaners like Lysol, like bleach. And what are these solutions? Highly toxic. So when you deal with something toxic, to kill that bacteria, to kill that, you have to put in something toxic. How do they kill the cancer cell? By giving you chemotherapy. The chemotherapy is also killing your good cells. So you have to understand that when something is poisonous, when something is really tamasic, when something's really dirty, you have to bring in the same kind of energy to counter that. And I'm not saying you have to become dirty or you have to do black magic. Please understand that. Alright? There are intricacies to meaning. Right? Because obviously what I say may mean something to you because of your upbringing, your DNA, where you come from and all of that. But understand the crux of it. That when you deal with something dirty, you have to get that solution that is toxic. If you drink bleach, what happens? You die. So bleach is toxic. But when the bed is so dirty, so murky, that nothing else can clean it, you have to dump bleach in it, right? Only then will the harmful bacteria die. So Kali Yuga, again coming back to Kali Yuga, where only one leg of dharma stands. Everything is a lie, everything is a hoax, and everything is a quick fix. How do I get that quick fix? And everything is dirty. Everything is dirty. No matter how much I clean, it still gets dirty. Just the maintenance. And I've explained to you the Lakshmi Tattva of how maintenance. It's easy to create. It's not really easy to create, but let's understand that creation can be a spark, but preservation can never be a spark. It has to be that fire that burns and burns and smolders and burns. When you sit for warmth, if I light a matchstick, I say, here, there's some fire, it's to warm you, take it. Will you feel warm? You won't. It's just gone like that, the heat. It disperses. But when you sit next to a fire, a little fireplace, or you're camping outside and you make a little fire, and you have all your sticks and you put your marshmallows in it and you're ready to have a good time, but you're cold and you need to sit huddled together around the fire. A matchstick is not going to give you that warmth, understand? Only a fire that can be sustained can give you that warmth. So, when you're dealing with dirty energies, dirty intentions, dirty ideologies, it's very difficult to understand through the spectrum of, say, Tara, or through the spectrum of, say, Bagalamukhi. These are Shuddha Vidyas. Tara is a Mahavidya. Bagalamukhi is a Siddha Vidya. How many people are now interested in learning Mahavidyas? A handful of people. If I get the equal amount of students who want to learn Tantra and Shabari Vidya equaling the same amount of requests that I have for Vashikaran and spells and all that I don't take, I'd be loaded. But people are not interested to learn. Oh my God, 2 hours workshop and then practice every single day. And there's this lady telling us that it's a lifelong practice. Oh my God, give me a break, dude. I don't want to go there, right? But you want a quick fix. You want to curse on someone. You want to put a love spell on someone. You want to mesmerize your boss. You want all the money in the world. People are more interested in that. So that's the filth. Not only physically everything is filthy, things are dirty, the oceans are dirty, the stratosphere is dirty, everything is dirty around us. You go out and you get dirty. So in that state, MELDI transmutes the dirt into purity, the filth into purity. So this is a very important understanding of her archetype, very important understanding of her archetype. So she is the goddess of destroying black magic, right? Destroying black magic. Because what happens is people ask me, is there something called black magic? Of course there is. If there's white magic, there's black magic. If there's matter, there's antimatter, right? If there's a proton, there's an electron right there in the nucleus. So if there is a white magician who's sitting down with the right intention, wanting to help people, there is also his counterpart, the dark magician. And we've seen this trope in multiple movies, and and we've also seen that the dark side's always cooler. The dark side's always got more power, right? The dark side's always got more opportunities, right? The light has to struggle. And this is kind of true in Kali Yuga. The light does have to struggle. Okay? So, we have to understand that when you talk about MELDI being created from the dirt of the Mahavidyas, you have to understand that to deal with the tamas of Kali Yuga, the 11th Mahavidya is MELDI. And her worship was of course done by the Naths Sampradaya, was done by, she's basically a very interesting goddess, because once MELDI was created from the dirt, and then I didn't tell you what happened after that. So she was a little girl, and she goes and she destroys. She goes right into the carcass of the cow, yikes, and destroys the demon. And then when she comes out, then what's she supposed to do, right? What's her work? So she goes to all the matrikas and she goes to all the goddesses, and she's a wee little girl. So she says, Anna, what is my name? And who am I? And she tells Chamunda. So Chamunda says that, I have a job for you. And if those assignments, like, so I have this assignment for you, and if you're successful at it, you are going to get a place, a very important place. A very important archetype will be ascribed to you. But first and foremost, you have to do something. So at that time, in Kamrup is Kamakhya. Kamakhya is in Guwahati. Hello, anybody here? Hello? Light, it's gonna get dark now. No. Light. On the white spectrum. Okay, so coming back to the topic at hand, where were we? It's getting dark, right? Soon you won't be able to see me. So, yeah. So she says that please give me something to do. She doesn't say, she says, who am I? What's my identity? Right? Big questions asked by a wee little girl. So Ma Chamunda sends her off on this assignment, says that you go to Kamrup Kamakhya, which was known as Pragjotishpur. I've told you guys that Kamrup Kamakhya is pretty much the that Bengal, Orissa, Assam belt is pretty much the hotbed of all magic, okay, in the world. Bengal, Orissa, Assam, these people have always been into magic. Alright, that's why Kamrup Kamakhya was first known as Pragjotishpur. Pragjotishpur was where the Jyotishis of the world congregated. The Jyotishis of the world congregated, and yes, thanks. Jyotishis of the world congregated, and in Pragjotishpur and Kamakhya, there is a Navagraha temple. You won't see a Navagraha temple, but Pragjotishpur later on became known as Kamrup. Actually, I think it was known as Kamrup in the beginning, and then it became Pragjotishpur, and then ultimately Guwahati and Kamakhya. So back in the time of the goddesses of the creation of Mata MELDI, right, back at that time, she says you go to, Chamunda says you go to Kamrup Kamakhya. Now Kamrup Kamakhya, there's a place called Mayong, okay, and in Mayong resided the blackest of the black magicians, the darkest of the dark souls. Mayong, in fact, is very close to Guwahati, but you won't see so much of, development, progress, nothing there. It's still very superstitious. Everything is pook, jhad, pook, tantra, mantra, and in the negative way, because these people from Mayong were all black magicians. And all this demon summoning and Solomonic magic and all of this vidya, all black magic, demon magic, has come from Mayong. Now people may say, oh, Solomon and his blah 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 and his all that. No. The original place for black magic was not Arabia. Arabia was Sanatani. Just like how they are discovering Havan Kunds in Arabia. Huge Havan Kunds. In fact, Salman Rushdie got into trouble for this, when he wrote the satanic verses. Because he spoke about the goddess, the pre-Mohammedan goddess of Arabia. So there are other very interesting things about the Mecca, which we will talk about one day. If you want, you can listen to Dr. P. Oak. He has some fabulous speculations about that. But coming back to Pragjotishpur and the story of MELDI. So Chamunda tells MELDI that you have to go to Kamrup. And all these black magicians from Mayong were creating havoc. Right, I told you that, people who went into resurrecting the corpses, Shav Sadhana and all of that. Originally, the Shav Sadhana was done by black magicians. Nowadays, many augurs, aghori is not the correct word, they're actually augurs. So many of them do that, the Shav Sadhana also for higher cosmic purposes, okay, higher cosmic wisdom. So also the Navamundi or the Panchamundi. The Panchamundi is actually an asana of 5 skulls. Alright, each skull representing very many things, okay. So the Panchapret, we'll get into the Panchapret, we'll get into Panchaveer also. Because in Shabari Vidya we call them Panchaveer. And the association of Panchaveer with Mashitala. Mashitala is none other than MELDI. So Chamunda says, go, if you can destroy the black magicians, if you can destroy the negativity of Mayong, then you will not only get a place in our pantheon, you will be worshipped, because then I'll know what you are capable of. So off sets this little girl, MELDI, and she goes all the way to Kamrup Kamakhya, and over there she takes all the powers of the black magicians and she puts them in a bottle. Alright, all the bad black magic energy, she puts it in a bottle. And she makes all those magicians, she turns them into goats. And then she rides them and comes back, right? She rides one of them, I mean, not all of them. She rides one Voldemort kind of dark magician, and she comes all the way back to where the Mahavidyas and the Matrikas and all of them were. So now, looking at her success, the Matrikas, they decide that this girl is not only capable, but this girl is definitely going to help people, because at that time in Mayong and all that, black magic was on the rise, and all the Matrikas and all were worried that what if more people, more tantrics, more wise people, bhagats, what if they turn to black magic? Who's gonna remain on the good side? There's always got to be a balance, right? That's what the world is. It's a world of duality. It's a world of balance, right? Because without night, you will never appreciate day. Without black magic, you will not know what white magic is. I mean, it sounds all like, oh my God, I'm suffering from black magic. How can she trivialize it? But look at it, that's what life is. If you do not know tears, you do not know the value of a smile. If you do not know hunger, you can never truly appreciate a meal. If you do not know how precious time is, how precious life is, you will never be able to love. So in the realm of duality, in the realm of, as we shift through the sands of time, we comprehend and understand duality. So then Mata MELDI, she rode this goat and she came back, which is why her Vahan is a goat. Alright, her Vahan is a goat. And she of course has Trishul given by Mahadev, Abhaya Mudra. There's nothing very stupendous about her. Like, when we talk about gods and goddesses, we talk about, Dashabhuja, Ashtabhuja, we talk about Trinetra. She is Trinetra for sure, but you see, she's not displaying her third netra. She's not displaying her third netra. So you see, she is like us. She's one of us, okay? She's one of us because she understands all the dirt, all the rubbish. And she is the antidote to all the dirt and all the rubbish of Kali Yuga. As I said, that if you love and surrender to her, she is the hack. Okay, she is the hack. So coming back to the story again, that they said, okay, now you are the 11th Mahavidya, and in due course you shall be revealed. But now you become Kuladevi of many people, and that's how Mata Masani MELDI, she became Kuldevi. So not only Luna Chamari, not only Priya Bangalan, many powerful tantrics, Ismail Jogi, and I've told you who's Ismail Jogi. Ismail Jogi is Matsendra Nath. Now Matsendra Nath was a Brahmin, and back in the days, no Brahmin would eat with anybody from any other caste. They wouldn't even take water from some other caste's hands. They wouldn't do that. But Matsendra Nath, though he was a Brahmin, he would eat with the Muslims. He would sit and he would eat with the Muslims. So that's why many people in Kamru Kamakhya called him Ismaili Jogi. So many people when they do Shabari Vidya, you may notice that a lot of mantras ride by Duhai of Ismaili Jogi or Ismaili Jogi's aunt. So this Ismaili Jogi is none other than Matsendra Nath, and because of his association to the Muslims and how he would eat with them, how he would sit with them, that's why he was called Ismaili Jogi. It's not a Muslim yogi as many people think. Ismaili Jogi is Matsendra Nath himself. So that's why she put all the negatives of that Kamru Kamakhya, all the black magicians of Mayong and all that, and she put all their negative energies in a bottle. What she did with the bottle, well, we'll find out someday. Now, the point to understand with Mata MELDI is that she destroys tamas. I have explained a million times, I think, maybe apt to say million, although it is a hyperbole. But there are three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. So, Mata MELDI in her tamasic form destroys the tamas within. The tamas, the whole day we have this interplay of the three gunas, sattva to rajas, to tamas. Now remember that the conversion, the transmutation only happens through rajas. Sattva cannot turn into tamas automatically, or tamas can never become sattva. The rajas is the midpoint. Understand, midpoint to the transformation between sattvic and tamasic. So this is very important that the murkiness of Kali Yuga can be sanctified through the worship of Ma MELDI. So this is very, very important. How to worship her, I don't suggest you do this, but I'm still gonna tell you for a little bit of information's sake, because that's dumdu. Dum 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 du baje, dum 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 du baje. So I'm going to tell you a little bit how you can, like, see, anybody can print out a picture, but you cannot keep her in the altar with other gods and goddesses. People going through severe illnesses, people who have no money, people who have lost their property, people who believe they are victims of black magic, people who have been bewitched, all of you. Okay, you can keep her picture. I'm going to get a frame actually. I wanted to get this frame before the live, but I couldn't get it. So, I will place her in a separate chowki on the side and in a nice frame. And you do the same if you want to. And without any mantra, just tell her what is in your heart. Just offer her bhog. Now, what can you offer? Dates, honey, payasam, in fact anything that you eat, you can offer anything that you eat. And those people who are lucky enough to have her as your Kuldevi, you should definitely get a separate chowki for her, and you should definitely establish her on the chowki and offer her bhog prasad every morning and evening. Even if you can't do it 2 times, do it once. Alright, so sit on an asan in front of the picture, do pranayam. I have mentioned pranayam many times, but advanced levels of pranayams I teach in my workshop. So you'll have to book a workshop to understand all that. Now you have to hold Munda Mudra. This is Munda Mudra. Munda Mudra here, you can also hold it here. Munda Mudra, and you have to focus on your Ajna Chakra. Where's your Ajna Chakra? Ajna Chakra is right here. Right, of course, with your eyes closed. Okay? And then you have to chant her mantra 20 minutes or so. Hey, no, okay? I will give you a few of her mantras, but of course, they are just for information. They are not for you to begin practice, alright? Because as I said that any vidya of the Nath Sampradaya is Guru Mukhi, okay? You cannot watch a video on YouTube and you cannot practice that mantra, alright? You have to learn it from a Guru. So this is a very, very powerful mantra. Om Hring Ajvaineshwari MELDI Devyai Swaha. This mantra is very, very powerful. Om Ring Ajvaineshwari MELDI Devyai Swaha. Om Ring Ajvaineshwari MELDI Devyai Swaha. This for people who get initiated in this mantra with me, it's an 11-day prayog. So 11 days for 11 minutes, they have to practice this, okay, with focus on the Ajna Chakra, and it has to be started on a Tuesday or a Saturday or an Amavasya or a Grahan. In fact, a Grahan is coming up. People who want to learn MELDI sadhana before the Grahan, because Purashcharan done on the Grahan will get you a lot of benefits, alright. I am myself going to be doing Shabari Vidya, so if you are interested to learn before that and to be prepared for the Grahan, then of course text me. Om Ring Ajwaineshwari Meldi Devye Swaha. Om Ring Ajwaineshwari Meldi Devye Swaha. And how is the mantra to be chanted? Never out in Vaikhari like this. Always Upangshu Padvati. So what we call in Hindi Budbuda ke jap karna. So Om Ring Ajwaineshwari Meldi Devye Swaha. 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 There will be no pause. You can't say Om Ring Ajwaineshwari Meldi Devye Swaha. Om Ring Ajwaineshwari. No. You have to take a deep breath. And Om Ring Ajwaineshwari Meldi Devye Swaha. Om Ring Ajwaineshwari Meldi Devye Swaha. Om Ring Ajwaineshwari Meldi Devye Swaha. Like that. At least like 4 or 5 times. Uninterrupted. Then again breath. And then again, while releasing, you say it. You have to donate food after this, preferably, you can donate to anybody, male, female, child, yeah. You can do Kumari Puja, or you can even give a sari to a married woman with sindoor and kumkum, especially people who are looking to save their relationship, or people who are looking to learn Mohan or Sammohan Vidya. Alright, those people. Now, always remember to be very loving and don't consider her. Okay, we did not get into the discussion of what is a Smashan. So, in ancient texts of India, what do we understand a Smashan? More than texts, I would say this is folklore and Tantra, Mantra world and Sadhana world, right? So, Smasans are 3 types: Kache Kalues, and Siddh Masans, and Pakke Kalues. Alright. So what is a Kacha Kalua? Kacha Kalua is when a child dies and a tantric takes their corpse and awakens the shav. Alright. So when they awaken the shav, and these are little children, okay, so when they awaken the shav, then those kids, those little babies, they are Kache Kalves. And this is very interesting because this Kache Kalve, cutting off their energy, their Kache Kalve work is difficult with Mahavidyas. Why? Because Mahavidyas are so elevated, are in such a place that they oftentimes do not observe or do not even see this kind of energies. Understand? So it's very difficult to work with Mahavidyas when you're dealing with Kache Kalves. And Kache Kalves are often sent on pregnant women as a curse. Somebody has a property. Somebody's got a property and he has one son. The son's got a wife and the wife's pregnant, and there's some dubious dude insidiously wanting to take all the property. So then he sends a Kacha Kalua on the wife. So that in that case, oftentimes abortion can be induced. And that little soul of that baby is also caught in the quagmire of black magic. So this is also a thing that with Shava Sadhana, if the corpse is not willing to be a willing participant in the sadhana, then you can get up Schitt's Creek. So that's very important. You have to take permission from the corpse. Like in tantric rituals, even when we use apamarga or when we use vanaspati of any kind, we have to go before the stipulated time to that particular vanaspati and ask for permission. So the same thing has to happen with Shavasadhana. The Shav must be a willing participant in the ritual. Alright, has to be. So that's why you will often see the tantrics have this the femur bone. They have a kapal and they talk to the kapal. So, you've heard of Karna Pisachini Sadhana. So it's a lot like, it's not a lot like that, but kind of like that, where, they get a kacha kalua and they ask the kacha kalua. The kacha kalua knows more than we humans do, because, perceptually it understands and sees more frequencies, hears more things. So in that case, a kacha kalua is actually able to answer and do certain things, but of course not a lot. And then you have the pakka kaluas, who are of course older people. A lot of them are mothers who are pregnant. They are turned into this kind of demonic entity. And then the hardest of all the masanas, the toughest, is a siddha masana. Now there are in India 80 siddha masanas. Kinaram Baba Aghori, lot of these kind of Aghori Babas are masanas, as in their dead body. We don't burn the dead body of a siddha person, a siddha purush. We don't burn his or her body. We dafnao them or bury them. And if a lot of people, a lot of other Aghoris have done sadhana on these siddha people, either with their kapals or with their bones, and they have captured a siddh masan. Siddha masans are very difficult, and there to counter that magic is very, very difficult. But kache kalues, if you just keep a picture of MELDI, you won't have any problems. Even pakke kalwes know siddha kalwes. So that's very important. So as I was speaking, that at that point when MELDI was born from the male, the dirt, there were 360 masanis, spirits, geists, they are spirits. But not spirits as we understand them. They're like cosmic spirits. Like how many people say that, how's Matangi called Pishachini? Because Matangi created the Pishachas. So that's why she is known as Mahapishachini. Simple. It's not very complicated actually. So now we are going to talk about some prayogas, which again I do not suggest you do without the supervision of a guru. These are very esoteric and gupta, but why am I giving this information? Because all of this information is honestly being lost, and it is never going to be available in English like this for a wider audience who might have an interest in things like this. So that's why I'm out there giving this information. But please don't try this at home. Serious disclaimer, don't try this at home, okay? So, and another thing is, Vamachar Tantra is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weakling, okay? And I don't feel offended that I said weakling. But what I mean is that it is for the person who feels no fear. If you are afraid, you are going to get screwed. Because fear is what the spirits work on. Understand? So if you're afraid, you've lost. So it's only for the real brave hearts. Roar like that, okay? It's not for everybody. Now prayoga is one mustard oil diya, like we have over here. I don't know if you can see. All of this. This is ghee. This is ghee. Always on the right side, keep the ghee. Always on the left side, keep the oil. So let's get this I lit for her. One mustard oil diya. One lemon, which I already cut. It should be cut like this. But make sure that it does not separate. Got it? Now you need 4 cloves, and remember the cloves must have heads. They cannot be headless cloves, okay? They must have heads. So you poke. It's almost like poking a voodoo doll, but no, even better. Look, like just like that. You have to, of course, chant mantra with it, which we'll get to discuss. So see how I poked the cloves, okay? You got it? Have to poke and poke. So we had 4 cloves with heads. We had this, now let's put this baby on a copper plate. So here we have the lemon, 4 sides not pierced. Okay, now what do we have to do? We've got sindoor, okay, very powerful sindoor. And now we are going to move over the aura, okay? And like you have to hold it like that. This has to be stuffed with sindoor, by the way, but not yet. And this, for this ritual, you'll have to go to the Smashan. It cannot be done at home. So you take this, right? You move it over the aura like that, and you pray to her and say that, Ma, I'm doing this so and so thing. Of course, on a Saturday or a Tuesday. Today is a Tuesday, by the way, which is why I decided to come live with this. So then you take this and you take bhog prasad. You take a diya, small matika diya, clay diya, and you take whatever bhog you're going to give, and a little glass, mud glass, your clay glass, fill it with water. Then you straight go to the Smashan, and you should have arghya water. That there's a way to prepare the arghya water. You have to sprinkle the arghya water. You have to light the diya. With the diya, you have to light the dhoops. So dhoops will have to be 4 in this. 4, okay, 4 dhoops. And do I have the dhoops here? Oh God, it's a bit that side. So it's really not much. I mean, I don't really have to show you how to light a dhoop. You know how to. You've got a diya. You take 4 sticks, not those fat dhoops, just thin sticks. Okay, you light them, right? And actually, when you go, don't cut it and take it. Right, I have just cut it and put it like this because, you know, I really didn't want to start cutting in front of the camera right here. So when you're going to the Smashan, you take the lemon, okay, just full, okay, uncut, full, uncut, and you take the 4 cloves, you take the sindoor, okay, then you spin it 7 times, all right, and then you go to the Smashan. With the arghya water, you sprinkle the arghya water. Then you sit down on the copper plate and you cut the lemon. Then you poke all the 4 cloves in it, and then you have to stuff it with sindoor. And remember, you are carrying with you prasad, so you should have like 1 sweet, 1 little bit of, you know, water, whatever you can give. Okay, now you went there. Now you've cut this up in the Smashan, and you have to take the sindoor like this, and you have to fill it. And of course, mantra will be, you'll have to chant the mantra. You'll have to fill it like this. I will show you how this can be done. Okay, here. Wait, now let me see. Okay, so now you put that, all right. Now again you take the nimbu in your hand again like this, and all the work of MELDI is done with the left hand, okay, as my guru taught me. You have to spin it around your aura again 7 times. Spin it. Now I can't stretch right now because my sari thing is stuck, but you have to spin it clockwise with your left hand 7 times. It looks like this. Okay, 4 cloves are pierced in it, for those who don't know or were not there when I said. And you have to again rotate the nimbu, and then you have to meditate on her form. So her form is pretty unforgettable, because once you see it, you can't really forget it. So you keep that form, you think of her, and you set your intention. Why are you doing this particular prayog? okay? Maybe you have been afflicted by black magic, maybe someone's put a curse on you, maybe you went somewhere and you interacted with a being from another world, and now they are kind of like, messing with your aura, messing with your, what we call possession, okay? And now what you do is you have to ask Ma MELDI that, Ma, while meditating on her, telling her what you want, you have to say, please protect me in all the 10 directions, the Dashadik. Okay, in Sanatan Dharma we consider 10 directions. So please, or if you want 4 directions, it's cool. Just say, please, my protect or mother or ma, or whatever you want to say, that please protect me in 4 directions, okay? And then remember that diya that you had lit, you don't have a picture because you're in the Smashan, so you obviously don't have a picture. Now after you have spun this 7 times, you keep this right like this in front of the diya. I mean, you may take a plate there, you may not, because you may not find the plate when you come back next time. So it has to be placed like this. The wick, we'll have to look at it like that, okay? And then you place it in the Smashan in front, and this has to be done on a best Tuesday or best Saturday, but you can do it on a Tuesday or a Saturday. And in fact, if you do this on a Saturday, even one Saturday, if you've been afflicted, even if you have bad planets, even then this is going to be really, really effective, okay? And you have to place the Nimbu in front of the diya, alright? And now Ma MELDI, there's another mantra that I'll be giving you. It's very interesting that when Guru gives Ma MELDI sadhana, men have to do Purashcharan double. I mean, not Purashcharan, you don't call it Purashcharan here, but the number of chants that a male must do is more than the female, is double. So if a woman is doing it for 21 days, a man must do it for 42 days. And those people who want shabari of Ma MELDI, who are cursed in some way because their Kul Devi is rushed with them, they need to sleep on the floor. They have to maintain brahmacharya. Black clothes, of course, black asan, 2. Red asan will work also. No bad words, no offensive words, no curses. You have to offer alcohol on this 21-day MELDI Mata mantra and prayog that I'm telling you now. You have to offer alcohol on Saturday. Now first things first is Guru Sat Guru and Veer Guru Sahib Simran Badi Bansingi Toro Unko Manno Karta Sakal Guru Ka Har Bache Ghatta Pakad Jagte Sama Shri Paramhams. And then you have to do Ganesh Shabari Vidya. Okay, ओम गणपति यहाँ पटाओ तहाँ आयो 10 को आज्ञा 2.5 को पीछे जा 10 को सचे 10 को खब्बे मैया गुफा की आज्ञा मन रिद्धि सिद्धि देवी आण अगर सगड़ चोना आवे तो माता पार्वती की ला जोंकड़ांग पट स्वाहा. This is Ganesh Shabar mantra and has to be recited quickly and there is no break. So you are breathing in the middle of recitation. ओम गणपति यहाँ पटाओ तहाँ आयो 10 को आगे जा 2.5 को पीछे जा 10 को सजे 10 को खब्बे मैया गुफा की आज्ञा मन रिद्धि सिद्धि देवी आण अगर सगड़ चोना आवे तो माता पार्वती की ला जोंकड़ांग पट स्वाहा. And you have to immediately start again. So 1 mala of Guru Sat, 1 mala of Ganesh Shabar mantra must be done. And then you have to do Kul Devi Dhyan also, especially if MELDI is your Kul Devi. Alright, then you have to give Bhog Prasad, of course. You cannot be disturbed during the sadhana. No disturbances, mustard oil. Diya has to be offered. Also, for certain Shakti sadhanas, the woman, especially during the time of menstruation, this sadhana becomes even more energized to do it at that time. But there are few ways to do it. Rajasala Nari, as we call, that you have to apply mustard oil all over your body. Alright, you have to apply mustard oil all over your body and of course no clothes. You have to sit on the black asan, kusasan, and then you will have to take a nariyal, a coconut, and then wrap it with a black churni, okay, and tie 2 moli dhagas around it. What are moli dhagas? Black molis are available too. So black moli dhaga you tie around the nariyal. Put water in the kalash and then put the nariyal with the black chunni on top. Alright. Now what, you can just put a dot there honestly, because there's certain things that have to be done. Now 5 malas you will have to do, 5 malas of this mantra that I'll talk. Morning you'll also have to do dhoop or deep. To dhoop, deep and all, not dhoop or deep, dhoop, deep and all you will have to do in the morning also. And you can chant 1 mala in the morning. Okay, you can get some lal mirchi, you can get long, long is clove, like this clove. It's one of our offerings, clove with a head, suparis, okay. In fact, even cardamom, elaichis. So you can get lal mirchi, long, elaichi, ghee when you are doing havan. Havan also has to be done. And laddu, bhog. Okay, besan ka laddu or normal ghee ka laddu will also do. Now, all the prasad that you're offering, you put it in a bag first and foremost, because you have to spin it 7 times around your aura and 7 times around the coconut. Okay, and then what you do is that you have to request her to appear in her Saumya form, because you know her Ugra form may be very, very scary for you to comprehend. Saumya form, you have to offer dhoop, deep, moli, sindoor and yantra. Okay, yantra of MELDI is, I will talk about that, because in Shivratri I am making Ma MELDI Tavis, Ma MELDI Sindoor and Ma MELDI Dhaga. So without revealing much, I cannot reveal to you her yantra, but I'll show you what I mean. This is her yantra, these are her sacred numbers, and I will be making this yantra tabiz, then this yantra, the mantra will be chanted on it, and then the bhasma will be put on it, then it will be rolled, and then it will be tied with a black moli. Okay, and that's how I will be preparing Ma MELDI Taviz. What this Taviz does, it, as I said, it protects you, it gives you confidence, it gives you money, it gives you luck, it saves you from bad luck. In fact, even having, and there's another thing that I would be making is the Taviz will look like this, the yantra in it wrapped in moli with the mantra and the bhasma. And another thing I'll be making is a black thread like this that can be worn in your hand, or for women in your left hand or in your left foot. Okay, I'll show you that. The tabiz will look like this. It'll have a black thread, and MELDI's yantra, energized with shabari vidya, will be given. It's for people who are really suffering for a long time and they have tried every single thing and nothing is helping them. It'll give you protection of all kind, it'll give you intelligence, because remember MELDI was very intelligent. The way she just went to Kamru, Kamakhya, and the way she destroyed all the negative black magicians and demons and entities that they had summoned, that was quite a story, right? So you can understand that she had an ingenuity about her. She had a problem solving capacity, you know. So that's all this, you know, when you wear the yantra of a devi or a devata, their archetype becomes visible within you. So Ganpati yantra gives you strategy, gives you a support structure, gives you intelligence. Okay, so like Lakshmi is not just money. Lakshmi is, you know, your entirety, your entire well-being, right? The entirety of your well-being, of your the whole wellness journey that you should be on is Lakshmi. Okay, so keep that in mind, that when you wear the yantra of a Devi or a Devata, their archetypes awaken within you. So this is very, very important to understand. Now, what did I say? Yeah, okay. So you have to offer also, you have to beg her to come in Soumya form, Dhoop, Deep, Moli, Sindoor, and yantra will be given only to clients who book the prayog. It will not be given to everybody, because it's a lot of work. It's very labor intensive to make one tabiz. To make 3 kajals, it takes me over 12 hours. So, you know, it's a lot of work. And honestly, I am just one person doing everything, so it becomes really tiring, really tiring. So it is not going to be given to everybody. It's only for people who will book the tabiz. Only they will be given the tabiz, and it will not be revealed to you either what your numbers are, because it is not revealed to people. Now, now the mantra that I will tell you, Kali, Chamunda and Ismail Jogi, which I mentioned, who I mentioned is Matsendranath. Their savari is right together, their energy is right together in this particular Shabari mantra. Okay, and this tabiz is known as Pandraya tabiz, MELDI Pandraya tabiz, that I will be selling. So, you know, in case you are interested to learn about the tabiz. So the thing with Shabari Vidya is you first have to memorize it. Otherwise, there's absolutely no chance of you sitting down to do mantra sadhana. You have to memorize Guru said, Om Ganapati yahan padhao tayo, jisko savidya hai us becha. Then Kali Ghata Smashan ki lat lat jale masan, Ma Chamunda ki shakti kamakhya ka tant gyan, hazir hui masani meldi. मेरे आते सवारे काम, अगर हाजिर ना हो तुझे इस्माइल जोगी की आन. So this has to be memorized absolutely. Okay, so काली घटा स्मशान की लाट लाट जले मसान, माँ चामुंडा की शक्ति, माँ कामाख्या की तंत्र ज्ञान, हाजिर हुई मसानी मेलडी, मेरे आते सवारे काम, अगर हाजिर ना हुई तो तुझे इस्माइली जोगी की आन. So this has to be chanted. This is the mantra, but this mantra, it has to be Gurumukhi, otherwise it's pointless. So now you can understand that how intelligent MELDI was to destroy all those negative entities that those black magicians had created. Now we have to talk about whether that place Mayong is still active. Yes, they're very much active. Yes, they still do black magic. Yes, a lot of black magic in the world, all of it is actually done through there. And other people who think they are summoning other entities, or, you know, if you read the Pico tricks and you see, once you understand how Kamakhya Tantra works, you will see that every single thing in the Kabbalah, Solomonic magic, in any system, in astrological magic of the Pico tricks, Islamic magic, you will see that all of the black magic and curses have all originated from the Kamakhya Tantra of Mayong. Okay, and still today they do black magic and they summon entities like Bhaisasur, and I'll talk about Bhaisasur. But Bhaisasur is understand, the Bhais is bull, Taurus is money. So Bhaisasur is the demonic energy who causes money through conflict. Alright, causes money through conflict. And we'll talk about Bhaisasur, of course, but let us understand that what happened with Mayong. And if people are being afflicted by black magic, it is very possible that all these dark entities, like, you know, Belial or Beelzebub, or Paimon. You've seen the movie Hereditary, right? And the whole movie is this kind of mind bending, like nerve wracking, journey into understanding the darkness that Paimon brings to bloodlines and families. So all these entities, okay, all these demons were all created in Kamru, Mayong. They may have gone all over, other systems may have discovered them, called them biblical demons and what have you, but their origin is Mayong. And that is the capital of black magic. There is no powerful, no other person, black magician is more powerful than the black magicians of Mayong. And even today they perform really devastating black magic, and they summon these entities. And I spoke about these asuric entities they summon, Asur, and we talk about that. But when you visualize Mata MELDI, think of her as very kind, Saumya Vadana, Prasanya Vadana, okay? She can appear to you as Dashabhuja or Ashtabhuja. Rides a goat. Now there's so much with the goat symbolism that I can, go into, but oh my God, my dog has started. Like, why? What's it to you? Hello, can someone please take ISIS? ISIS. Yes. No, inside. Okay, so all this, the dark entities were all summoned from Mayong in Kamrup, Kamakhya. Now, if you are being afflicted by spirits or demons or negative entities, then keeping just a picture of Ma MELDI, offering her like a sweet or a chocolate or honey and water is also enough, and just surrendering to her, that's all. Ma is pyar ki bhukhi, so she wants love. So if you give her love, she'll be there for you. All right. Now, she does, when she appears as Ashtabhuja, she has all kinds of weaponry, astra in her hands, even Dashabhuja. Now, I don't want to reveal the form that I oftentimes see her, because again, MELDI spiritual experiences cannot be revealed like that. They're very, very gupt, very secretive. Okay, you need Deha Suraksha. Deha Suraksha mantra, Disha Suraksha mantra has to be received from Guru. Okay, Deha Suraksha is very important in MELDI sadhana. If you're keeping a picture and just giving a bhog prasad, yeah. But if you're looking to do sadhana, get her savari, then the whole equation changes. She loves Keode ka itar. So that is a very good offering. Dhoop, agarbatti, definitely rose agarbatti I offer all the time. And then first you will have to here also do Guru Sitta, Guru hai Veer, Guru Sahib Simron Badi Bhaan, Singi Toro One Ko Manno Kar Tara Sakal Guru Ka Har Vache Gatta Pakru Chak Chit Samashri Parambhams. Guru Sitta, Guru hai Veer, Guru Sahib Simron Badi Bhaan, Singi Toro One Ko Manno Kar Tara Sakal Guru Ka Har Vache Gatta Pakru Chak Chit Samashri Parambhams. Alright. So you'll have to do that, and then you'll have to do Ganesh, Guru, Ganesh, and you have to do Isht Puja. And then ultimately you have to come to Melody Puja. And this is a very, very powerful, it's more tantriki than shabari really. Om Hring Agacha Melody Devyai Varada Shubhe Idam Tishta Pujam Griham Sukhme. I've never done this particular mantra, but I know people who have. So Om Hring Agacha Melody Devya Varade Shubhe Idam Tishta Pujam Grihani Sukhme. And then you have to do Avahanam. Then you have to do jap of this particular mantra. Okay, now you have to keep MELDI yantra given by Guru. You have to keep MELDI Gutika as well. Now remember that Ma MELDI is the Mahashakti of Kali Yuga. Alright. Now another thing I want to show you, she loves Google. So always sit here. Okay, I'm going to put you back there, but I want people to see you. So we have Google ka dhoop, very very good. You can get those clay burners, and you, excuse me, you can put the Google in it. Hey, fall! You'll go in now, wait. My baby is hungry. Fall! Please come. Please take my baby, he's starving, he's eating plant, he's licking me, take him, he's very hungry. And his bowl doesn't have food, please give him some food, pour some food in. Bye bye, see you again, bye bye. Give him the food, please, he's very hungry. Okay, so you need to Om Ring Agacha Melody Devya Varade Shubhe Idam Tishta Tishta Pujam Grihani Sukhame. Om Ring Agacha Melody Devya Varade Shubhe Idam Tishta Tishta Pujam Grihani Sukhame. Then Avahanam, like I told you, then Jap. And now there's another melody mantra that I have tried. Om Kring Mate Melody Bipatti Rakshanang Tha Phat. Om Kring Mate Melody Bipatti Rakshanang Tha Phat. This is a very good Raksha mantra actually also for people like, accident prone people, or someone's got a Marak Dasha planet, if the Antar Dasha Pratyantar Mahadasha is of a Marak planet. Alright, I've explained the concept of Marak planet before. Om Kring Mate Melody Bipatti Rakshanang Tha Phat. Om Kring Mate Melody Bipatti Rakshanang Tha Phat. Very powerful. Okay, and if you're doing this, you have to apply Sarva Akarshani Mudra with this. Sarva Akarshani Mudra. Alright, and when you are doing this with Sarva Akarshani Mudra, then you attract unbelievable good luck. Okay, even if you are meant to have like say an accident or some unfortunate event is about to transpire in your life, you can push it off with this mantra. Om Kring Mate Melody Bipatti Rakshanam Tha Phat. Tha. Om Kring Mate Melody Bipatti Rakshanam Tha Phat. Tha with the visarga. Tha Phat. 11 days, 11 minutes. This is what I teach with this mantra to my students, especially people who come with a lot of vipatti, people who come with a lot of problems and ill health. This really actually helps people who are very sick or have some kind of terminal disease, or people suffering from cancer. Okay, but you cannot start doing this alone. You have to have Shakti path for Mata MELDI, who is the Mahashakti of Kali Yuga. As I told you, MELDI is a hack. MELDI is a hack. Okay, now while you are doing this, okay, Om Kring Mate Melody Vipatti Rakshanam Tha Phat. Om Kring Mate Melody Vipatti Rakshanam Tha Phat. Om Kring Mate Melody Vipatti Rakshanam Tha Phat. Every day you are doing this for 11 days. So you keep like about that much sindoor, okay, however much sindoor you want, and you can energize it like that. I energize sindoor sometimes with this mantra, sometimes with my guru given mantra that I do my sadhana of MELDI with. Okay. Kumari Puja is very important after this prayog. Kumari Puja is very important. Also, Om Ek Kring Melodyai Namaha. Om Ek Kring Melodyai Namaha. This is also a good mantra. Now we are talking about Mayong. Okay, Mayong and all the black magic that happens here. Now I told you that the Mayong black magic was not started by a black magician. All the energy over there, all the power over there was generated by a Bengali tantric woman, and her name was Priya Bangalan. She was known in the Naths Sampradaya and all, and the sadhana structure as Priya Bangalan, or sometimes she was called just Bangalan. Okay, and Priya Bangalan is the one who taught all of these people this very powerful Shabar Vidya. And if you know anything about Shabar Vidya, you'll know that a lot of mantras ride on Priya Bangalan's Duhai. Like Lona Chamari, Priya Bangalan's Duhai also. Now I have spoken about Lona Chamari in great detail, but I'll still tell you who was Lona Chamari. Lona Chamari was actually a woman from Kamru Kamakhya. She was a Bengali woman. The main Lona Chamari, she was a Bengali woman. Okay, her name was Lona. And even now today, a lot of Bengali girls are called Lona. It's a very common name over there, Lona, actually. And Lona Chamari was from Bengal, and she went into Kamru Kamakhya and did sadhana. There's also another Lona Chamari from Amritsar that was raped by 11 Thakurs, Thakur family. She was from the Chamar family, very low caste. And the Thakurs, 11 Thakurs resided in one bungalow, and they had 11 males in their family. And Lona's curse was, Lona was excessively beautiful. Now with the myth of Lona and also Priya Bangalan, you will notice that these tantric women were very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. So same with Lona. Lona was very beautiful, and because she was so beautiful, all the people in her village looked upon her with dirty eyes, okay, looked upon her with dirty intentions. So her father married her off very young, but some complication happened in her sasural, so she came away and she started to live in her maike again, and this was kind of unacceptable. And obviously lot of people would take liberties with a woman who's not been able to live in her sasural, and now she's come back to her father's house. So these Thakurs, these high caste men, they took a lot of liberties with her, and they gang raped her, 11 of them, and they not only hurt her terribly, but after the whole episode, all she could think of was revenge. And then she heard about the yoginis in Delhi. There were a whole bunch of yoginis who lived in Delhi, tantrikis, and they're like a cult of women practitioners. So this Lona, she walked all the way from Amritsar to Delhi to meet these women, and then she goes and meets them, and she tells them that I want to learn all this tantra, mantra, yantra, I want to learn all this. So they laugh at her, she's a wee little girl. So they're like, what are you going to learn? Oh, get out, So she wouldn't go, she wouldn't budge, she was insistent that I want to learn, I want to understand all this because I want to take revenge. So then these women told her that you can't learn all this here, you have to go to Kamrup. Okay, we call it Kamru, but it's actually Kamrup. Okay, so she says, so they said that you have to go to Kamrup. We can't help you in Delhi. We don't teach all that stuff to people like you. You have to go to Kamrup. So then Lona walked all the way from Amritsar, one part of India. She walked, a beautiful girl, saving herself from evil people, saving herself from dastardly situations, hiding, going, being without food. And this is how she reached Kamru Kamakhya. Now many people say that she was so beautiful when she went and stood in front of Ismaili Jogi. He wanted to use her for Panchamakaras, because many tantrics do Panchamakaras, which is Matsya, Mamsa, Mudra, Madhya and Methun. So for the Methun part of the Kriya, Ismaili Jogi, again Ismaili, this is just what people say. So Ismaili Jogi is not a Muslim Jogi. Ismaili Jogi is Matsendranath. Matsendranath was a Brahmin who would not eat with who would eat with Muslims, and this was not the norm of the day. Brahmins would not eat with anybody but Brahmins, right? So this whole system was there. So him being the only Brahmin who would eat with the Muslims, he became known as Ismaili Jogi. So then they say that, these folk tales, they say that when Ismaili Jogi saw Luna Chamari and her beauty, that he wanted to use her for the Methun Kriya. And she stayed with Ismaili Jogi and she learned all the Tantra and she progressed really fast. Because there are certain lakshanas of a Bhairavi, there are certain lakshanas of a Siddha Tantriki that are visible to people who do sadhana. So this is one story of one Lona Chamari. There's another Lona, there's a Chamar Gaon somewhere in Lahore, in Rawalpindi or Lahore, I'm forgetting, in the other side, in Akhand Bharat I'm talking about, but now it's Pakistan. So they have a Chamar Gaon there as well, Chamriya Gaon. So in that Chamriya Gaon, there was another woman called Lona Chamari who used to live in a palace, have an ostentatious lifestyle, who was a practitioner of Tantra, Mantra, Yantra and Shabari Vidya as well. So there are these two Lona Chamari. There's a Rajasthani Lona Chamari as well. And then there is the Bengali Lona Chamari. So obviously that this Lona Chamari is, according to me, a title. According to me, this is a title that is conferred because, when you talk about the Naths, like a woman of the lowest caste, so it becomes the highest tantric. So there's a thing, because when you talk about religion, it's always represented by males of the highest caste. But here we are breaking all status quo and we are saying that Lona Chamari. So the woman of the lowest caste here is considered to be very, very powerful in learning all this kind of Tantra, Mantra, Yantra. So I am from the Brahmin family. I'm from a Brahmin family myself. But I understand how this was such a big iconoclastic step against the established patriarchal Brahminical system. It was stupendous actually. So from Bengal, Orissa, that belt, right, Assam, Orissa, Bengal belt, many Bengali, Assamese, Biharis, many women have dedicated their lives to Tantra. I am doing so as well. I come from that belt too. So Priya Bangalan was one such very powerful Tantriki like Lona Chamari who had achieved immense powers, okay, and she had created all this kind of jadoo and all that in Mayong. And then after she left Mayong, all of her vidya was used by these black magicians, okay. Nobody knows where Priya Bangalan went, but she was obviously gone from Mayong at the time that all this Vyabhichar started. Alright, and now what happened is that all of this Bhaisasur entity that is often set upon people, all of this Tantra is from Priya Bangalan. Remember that. Now Mayong sorcerers have gained a worldwide notoriety now. Also, it's huge in social media. Mayong, black magic, they'll give you bhoot, they'll give you this, they teach MELDI, they teach bhoot vidya. One course is 5 lakhs. This my student has told me that their courses, these tantrics, they charge, it's up to 5 lakhs to 1 crore. That's how much they charge to to give you Shakti, to give you this, to give you that, what have you. They charge that kind of money, Mayong sorcerers, even now. Especially if you're setting Bhaisasur upon someone, and they do that a lot. Bhaisasur is one such entity that is that I have encountered multiple times on multiple people throughout the world. Bhaisasur. Alright, it's also very interesting that the stock market is known as, when the betting is bigger, when the stakes are higher, they call it a bull's market. And this bull's market is actually Bhaisasur. Okay, is Bhaisasura's magic. So very, very interesting over there. Now, they have gained huge infamy, not just in modern times on social media, selling courses like that, but they have gained huge infamy from the time of the establishment of Mayong, all right. And it's all because of this woman called Priya Bangalan. And one day we will talk in great deal about Priya Bangalan and the shabari mantras that are associated to Priya Bangalan. And now what happens is that we can understand, now we have established that black magic capital of the world is Mayong, okay, is Mayong. And Kamru Kamakya has a fascinating history, I tell you. From Prague Jyotishpur to today, it's been a saga of untold magic, and I don't even have words to describe it. It is so powerful. So basically, many Vajrayani Buddhist tantrics, they lived in Mayong. Many Vajrayani Buddhist tantrics used to live in Mayong also during that time, who were initiated by Priya Bangalan. Many of them, all right, Vajrayan people. And if you see today also, Mayong, okay, is very removed from the hustle bustle of everyday life, say in Bombay or say in Guwahati, and Guwahati is so very close to Mayong actually. And no one should enter Mayong in the evening. Nobody should go to Mayong just because you watch on this video and you're all like Peter, black magic capital of the world, let me get there and get into shit. No, don't do that, okay? Because it's all right to be curious about certain things, but it's downright stupid to mess with things you don't understand. Like, imagine people are scared of a Ouija board. Okay, people are like, oh my god, the Ouija board brings in the devil, or yoga brings in the devil. No, my friend, go to Mayong and you will see what bringing in the devil is all about. So, be smart, be intelligent, be a force of good, stay away from all this, because Bhaisasur will get you. And it's not easy to stay out of trouble if Bhaisasur is out to get you, okay? So keep that in mind, stay away from Mayong, alright? In fact, another very interesting story is that the English, okay, let's go back, even way back. The Mughals, right? The Mughals were absolutely hell-bent upon going to Kamru Kamakya, because the women over there were, all tantrikis and beautiful-looking women, and all these Muslim invaders were like, oh my God, we want to go there, we have to go there, and they also heard about Mayong being the black magic capital of the world, so they wanted to come there, right? To pillage, rape, and take everything. But they could not enter Mayong. Okay, so Priya Bangalan supposedly created a wall, and Priya Bangalan's narrative is interesting because you find her on and off through the vestiges of time, when she's there in Mayong and then she's not there again, and then she's there and she just like sees through different auras and see through different eras and different time frames and different timelines. So Priya Bangalan is obviously a sort of a time traveler as well, a true tantric, Dakini, naked sky dancing time traveler. So she had set up a wall outside Mayong, right, where all the Mughal army would, come charging into that wall. And this is, of course, etheric. It is all built from the powers of a sadhana. So she created that wall, and all these Mughal armies would just go into that wall and they would poof disappear. And they just go into the wall and then poof disappear. So she had created a wormhole of sorts, understand? So they could or some kind of a vortex field which would just literally take all of that matter and transfer it to some other dimension or some other part of the multiverse. So that was very interesting. This incident has been noted by Islamic writers as well, who have mentioned that something Kala Jadoo is happening in Mayong. Of course it is, right? So that happened, and the English had a really hard time trying to find Mayong, then trying to enter Mayong. So many of them died very badly. So Mayong was like an uncharted, untouched territory by the Muslims, by the English, by the Portuguese, by the Dutch. Nobody could enter that area. Okay, and believe me, by the Spanish, believe me, they tried. They tried and tried, and they could not enter Mayong because of this shield that was created by Priya Bangalan's energy, Priya Bangalan's Tantra. Alright, so she had used Vashikaran, she had used Tamban, she had used Vidveshan, Uchatan, everything on these armies of the invading Mughals and the invading English and the other European people who tried to come and, plunder and pillage that place. So the reputation of Mayong and all the women over there and the witches over there, they were cemented in the sands of history. So that's how it worked from there. So what happened is that thousands of tantrics learned this tantra from Priya Bangalan, and obviously that there are less morally alert people on this planet who think that they can destroy someone's life by using magic or do things like that. And it's sad, but it's true. It's what happens. So this is the way that they were always protected, Mayong, and they continued. All right. Now there is a kund there, a yoni kund in Mayong, okay, and that yoni kund is always full of water. They say that Devi Ganesh and Bhairav, right, they are established around that kund, and it's totally bewitched. And this is where Narabali used to happen, a human sacrifice used to happen, okay, and these black magicians of Mayong, they did all this spells and enchantments, and they used to do human sacrifice to wayward travelers or people they didn't like, a higher purpose. As we've seen this many times being played out in narratives and books and stuff like that, right? So this Natta, Kalwa, Daimat, Jain, Bhaisasur, Veers, all of them are worshipped in Mayong even today with blood sacrifice, blood rituals and all of that. Very, very Bhaisasur Veer. Okay, we were talking about Bhaisasur. Bhaisasur Veer is deadly dangerous. But if you do sadhana of Bhaisasur Veer protects you and becomes a great friend. But again, asuric sadhanas are, not the way to go. They are quick to yield results, yes, but I would not advise anybody to start doing Bhaisasur Tantra. Okay, I would not. Veer invocations are not for everyone. Again. Natta, Kalwa, all of this, stay away. Okay. Kalwa magic is very, very bad. I explained Kache Kalve, Pakke Kalve, Siddha Kalve. Okay, now Siddha Masan, same Kalve Masan. Okay, those little babies that who are dead, and the tantric will get the shav and will awaken the shav. Okay, and that becomes a Kacha Kalwa. And lot of filthy work is done by Kache Kalves. Okay, this is one thing about black magic. Shat karma of all kind is done by Bhaisasur. All kinds of shat karma, Vedveshan, Uchchatan, Maran, Stambhan, right? All of that. Mohan definitely, some Mohan Vidya Bhaisasur has. We know the bull, right? The bull. So, but Bhaisasur is a very deadly, dangerous entity to work with, believe me. And of course, I'm not going to discuss Bhaisasur mantra, because I do not suggest to anybody to do Bhaisasur sadhana. But I'm sure if you go online, you will be able to find Mayong tantrics on YouTube who are teaching Bhaisasur vidya. So if that's what rocks your boat, then go ahead. But don't come telling me later that, my life's ruined. Don't tell me. So, and this, the mantra of Bhaisasur that they awaken Bhaisasur with is Priya Bangalan's. In fact, as I have said, a lot of Shabari mantras have Priya Bangalan's name, Lona Chamadi's name. Lona Chamadi, Priya Bangalan are very closely connected as well, because the original Lona Chamadan is Bengali. So, and that side, Kamakya side, lot of Bengalis used to pursue Tantra, Mantra, and Shabari Vidya and all of that. So, this protection against Bhaisasur, because if you've seen a bullish entity, and of course Bhaisasur knows Chhadya Vesh, which means he is a master of disguise, so he doesn't have to come as a bull. But for that, the mantra has to be started of Mata MELDI 21 days, 3 malas per day. Okay, and Mata MELDI's sadhana has to be done with black clothes, black asan. Remember that has to be done after 9 p.m. Cannot be done in the morning. Cannot, absolutely. You'll have to keep a picture of Mata Madanan, Chowk Chodai ki Mata Masani, Mata Madanan, Chowk Chodai ki Devi. Okay, she got many names. So get this print out. There's a Soumya version of her also, but this picture I really connect with. So I use this picture for meditation. So get and keep Ma Kali, because she's after all Ma Kali's attendant, remember that. So keep Ma Kali's picture. Ma Kali sadhaks can very easily do MELDI sadhana, not a big deal at all. Okay, now Deha Suraksha has to be done, which again will not be revealed. And what happens is that when they do the sadhana of Bhaisasur, they invoke Bhaisasur in a vanaspati, a jadui vanaspati. When I was in Kamru Kamakya and I was talking, my guru has gone to Mayong. Okay, my guru Dr. Brumnath Tagore has gone to Mayong, and he's helped a lot of people there actually also. And he did show me a vanaspati, and he says that this vanaspati is very important for invoking Bhaisasur. And some people wear that vanaspati as a locket, and that's how you know that they are possibly putting Bhaisasur on someone. Most normal grihasthis, if they want someone's property, they want someone's husband, want someone's wife, they'll put Bhaisasur on them. They will not be wearing the locket. The magician who is sending out, the tantric who's sending Bhaisasur, is going to wear that vanaspati. I have seen that vanaspati, and on very rare occasion, that's a very rare vanaspati, it's just growing everywhere. They make the idol of Bhaisasur with that vanaspati, with that particular vanaspati, and you will see that the person who's Bhaisasur Siddh will be wearing that vanaspati in their neck, will be wearing the vanaspati. Now also they give now Mayong tantrics on YouTube, my student was telling me they give Tavis of Bhaisasur, they give Anguthi of Bhaisasur, they give Moli of Bhaisasur, they give Yantra of Bhaisasur. So all of that is going on now. And my guru had told me that that vanaspati, that idol that is carved out, that Bhaisasur is carved from, is then soaked in a mixture, and that has menstrual blood, semen, and all of that, and other horrible things that I don't want to talk about. And then that particular vanaspati swells, and then Bhaisasur is invoked in that vanaspati. Very rare to see a Bhaisasur putla like that, but yeah, it exists. So imagine every day they have to, they often give Kamakya Sindhu to Bhaisasur. They give Nariyal, 11 nimbus, 1 anar, 11 cloves, and they have to do bali. They do bali of Pashu bali and whatnot, and crap that. So, and Bhaisasur Pratyakshikaran, the people who want, they keep Bhaisasur yantra on black rice. Black rice is used for Bhaisasur situation. So, oftentimes Rudrakshas can be energized to counter against black magic. So, that can be done. Now coming to Shitala Mata, we don't have much time, we're already at 2 hours, so I'll be ending now. So Shitala is none other than Masani, Chowk Chaurahi ki Ma, Mata Madanan. She's the one and the same, Ma Shitala. And it's very interesting because since I was a child, I used to go to a Shitala temple with my grandfather. And Shitala was very big in Bengal because of cholera epidemics and smallpox epidemic. Shitala used to protect us from, and Shitala is yellow actually, like Ma Bagalamukhi. So that's quite interesting. Now Shitala is the primary Masanan, primary Mata, and there is a 5 Veers always associated to this. Now 5 Veers are like 5 Shivas. 5 Shivas who Lalita Tripura Sundari Pancha Pretatsana. She sits on 5 prates. Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari. She sits on 5 pretas. So same Ma Shitala has 5 Veers. So many Bhairo Upasaks back in the day rejected religion, like religious sanctification, like you're a Brahmin, I'm a Kshatriya caste, I'm not going to eat with you, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to marry you. They rejected it, right? So they began to move towards the Pid Sadhana, Muslim Tantra, Islamic Tantra, Pid Sadhana, Muvakkil Sadhana, Pari Sadhana. Pari sadhana is huge in the tantric community. Pari sadhana is huge. Now, what happened was that the Dasha Mahavidyas ultimately became the Navadurgas, because Dasha Mahavidyas were very difficult. The puja, the Purushcharan, the rituals were very difficult. So they became Navadurgas, and of course then we had the Sharadiya Durga Pujo and all this happening everywhere. And then the whole mother energy became Durga, right? Now at the same time what happened is Sat Mata mandirs began to pop up all through tiny little hamlets, okay, they popped up. And of the 7 matas, Shitala is the main mata. Like out of 360 Masanis, Mata MELDI is the main Masani. So this is what you have to understand. 7 matas, again they draw their archetype from the 7 Mahavidyas, not 10 Mahavidyas, 7 Mahavidyas. But what happened was that the Mahavidya Upasana could not be done by everyone. So these 7 Mata Upasanas were easy. Like just a random person could do it. A normal housewife who knew nothing else, was not educated, she could do it, right? Anybody could do it. A man, uneducated man, child, anybody could do Sat Mata ka puja, right? So, and honestly, if you ask me, the Saptamatrikas were an echo from the past. These Satmata Mandirs, the Saptamatrikas became Ashtamatrikas. Many people are like, it's Ashtamatrikas. No, originally it was Saptamatrikas. Then they became Ashtamatrikas, and then later on they became Satmatas. Okay, and they are very, very active. Shitala and the 6 other matas, very, very active. Alright, now the thing to understand is the 7 mahavidyas from whom they draw inspiration are both sattvic and tamasic. This is very interesting. When you look at Ma Kali, you understand that Ma Kali may be conceived as a tamasic roop, but she is absolutely pure sattva. Pure sattva. And of course there are many ways to explain this. The tongue, white, cuts the red, the white teeth, the white teeth clamp down on the red tongue. So this means sattva is curtailing rajas and transmuting rajas into sattva. So Ma Kali is a very epitome of sattva actually, but however, according to the propensity of a sadhak, the Mahavidya was perceived as sattvic or tamasic. Many people know that, Lalita Tripura Sundari is all sattvic. Lalita Tripura Sundari can also be worshipped in the tamasic way. In fact, she is none other than goddess Kamakya, none other than goddess Soroshi. Okay, and she can also be worshipped in the tamasic way. It's all about the propensity of the worshipper. So this duality, this dichotomy, the dance of the sattva, the rajas, the tamas, and the mahavidyas, this is very interesting, right? Now, only a sadhak can ascribe the guna of the devata. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I've explained this many times. My MELDI Devi is sattvic because I am sattvic, because that's the life I lead. Those are the thoughts I have. Understand? So I ascribe the guna to her. Without bhakti, there is no Bhagwan. Without bhakti, there is no Devi. Understand this. This is a very deep thing that I said. So, in fact, Diksha is given according to the guna. Right? Now, what happened is that firstly, if you were of a, more hardcore disposition, you were a Vamachari. Yeah, you're a normal householder, you're a Dakshinachari. But somewhere down the line, the two ideologies began to blend together, right? Like within us, like we understood the roundness of character. Like there is a part of us that is a saint, there's a part of us that is a sinner. Like, I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother, I'm a sinner, I'm a saint, right? So this dichotomy that seeped through is very interesting, right? Very, very interesting, because this is where Kali Yuga stands. This is the blend. That's what's happening all the time. But you have to understand that the Saptamatrikas, they lived at the outskirts of the towns, okay, the little hamlets, the little villages, and they were protectors. They did raksha. They were protectors. Now, certain sadhaks at this stage move from Bhairav Upasana, Mahavidya Upasana, MELDI, Mahavidya Upasana, and began to worship Kache Kalves, Pakke Kalves, Siddha Kalves, Masanis. Okay, and so this is how the transformation happened, and not all of them were black magicians, of course. Like I told you that, just because you worship Ma Masani doesn't make you a black magician. No, not at all. If you understood her symbolism, you understand that she transmutes the tamas within you. Alright, so this is very, very important, because she is the perfect remedy for such tamas. Now, as I was saying that, the people who started to worship kalves and all that, they took children's bodies and they did all kinds of black magic, right? So to counter all this black magic, a group of tantrics arose, veers they were called, right? And these veer sadhaks, they came forward to counter all the black magic. If there is a particle, there is an anti-particle. So like that, if there is bad, then suddenly good will rise. Yada yada yidharmasya glane bhavati bharata abhyutyanava dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Right, this means that, this is what Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita. I forgot where I stopped. Tadatmanam Sri Dushritam Dharma Sangsthapanatthaya Sambhavani Yuge Yuge. That means to destroy tamas, sattva will resurrect. Okay? So this is the same thing. So to counteract these Mayong black magicians, Veers came forward, many Veer tantrics came forward, and out of that there were 5 Veers, very very important. And these 5 Veers, and Veer sadhana is not for the grihasti, please, Veer sadhana cannot be done at home, okay? Veer kangan cannot be worn by a grihasti, not a woman, okay? If a tantric gives you Veer kangan, that means he is trying to bewitch you. Do not wear Veer kangan, okay? So these Panchaveers can be invoked in one. You don't need a picture. You need one big diya and you need to put 5 wicks, like 2, 2, 2, 2 actually. So 10 wicks. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 like that, and you can light all the 5 and you can worship them there. Now the main Veer out of all of these guys was Goga Jaharveer. I've spoken about Goga Jaharveer many times. A lot of Shabari mantras ride on Goga Jaharveer. And Goga Jaharveer is the Kula Devata of many, many Indian people. Many, many Indian people. So, in fact, Goga Jaharveer created a chain that went around 51 Veers who stood up to counter black magic, to defend the good. Alright. So, there are 5 Veers, I'll tell you the name: Jaharveer, Hanumant Veer. And only these 2 Veers were Satvik. Even when today Veers are worshipped, Goga Jaharveer and Hanumant Veer are Satvik. Then third is Narsingh Veer, Aghori Veer fourth, fifth Bhairav Veer. So these 3 are tamasic Veers, alright, and very very powerful. Veer sadhana is absolutely very powerful. Masan Jagana, Veer sadhana, not for the grihastis. So normal people can give petition to the Veers. Alright, if you know a tantric person who petitions Veers, then you can send a petition, but don't try to worship them with mantra. Now Muslims were very inspired by this whole amalgamation of sattva and rajas and tamas, and the Veer, the concept of the Veer is how Hanumant Veer and Goga Jaharveer were sattvic, and they were very inspired, the Islamic people. So they came up with 5 balis, same thing, okay? Even the Sikhs have Pancha Sakha. Even Bhavishya Malika, written by Achyutananda Das, has the Pancha Sakha. Even Krishna had Pancha Sakha. So it's the same thing, and we know Pancha Pretat Sana Shobhita, Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari. Alright, so we have 5 balis. Their names are Astabali, Sher Jung, Muhammad Veer, Mira Sahib, Kamal Khan Sayyid. Okay, these are Sayyid Veer. You must have heard of Sayyid Bali. Lot of Islamic people pray to these balis. Okay, now the thing is that please have Shraddha and Bhakti and approach the balis, the peers, of course. Now at a later on stage, Hindu tantrics began to worship the 5 Veers and the 5 balis together. So Goga Jaharveer, the Hanumant Veer, Bhairav Veer, and Aghori Veer, all these guys and these balis began to be worshipped together. Right? You may have heard that a lot of people are like, they worship Goga Jaharveer and a peer in their house. Ma Kali and a peer they have given asan to. This happens all over India. So this is where the two Islamic Tantra and Sanatani Tantra, they kind of overlapped, because a lot of Muslims took initiation in the Nath Panthis. A lot of, Ismaili Jogis had a separate section only, like Sardars also had a separate section. So Veers, Peers give Savari, like Mata Meldi gives Savari. What is Savari? Savari is when you allow the goddess to take place within your body. Okay, and many people are like now on YouTube just shaking their heads like that, हाँ माँ काली की सवारी आ गई and all that. This is bullshit. Okay, but in reality, Ma Meldi does give savari. Veers do give savari. Bhaisasur also gives savari. Alright, and what happens is that when you meet somebody who's going through a real savari, and if you can get your word out to the devata, that there's no medium there, that's a direct contact you have with devata. So sawaris, I know a lot of people look down upon them. A lot of people are like, oh my god, like, how channeling. A lot of people are channeling Pleiadians, aliens, and all what have you on YouTube. So this is the same thing when you are just lowering your, releasing your ego, and you are just, somewhere subduing your ego, and you're allowing that entity to speak through you. Right? I remember I used to watch this astrologer called Barbara on YouTube, and she was doing Western astrology, and she was a lot of fun to watch, and she was an elderly lady. It was good fun to watch her. And then a few years ago, she started channeling Pleiadians, and it was a lot of fun to watch her too then. But she had that shift, so she gave space in her body to channel. You'll hear that I'm channeling this Babaji avatar, I'm doing automatic writing and channeling this, that, and the other. So this is savari. Channeling is savari. Okay? And not everybody can channel. Not everybody can be a medium either. It's hard. So Masani Meldi gives hardcore savari. Okay? Hardcore savari. So, but if you are not prepared, and if you have not taken this mantra through a guru who practices her tantra, then Bhoot, Pret, Pishach, Yaksha, Yakshani, Kinnar, anybody can enter, and it'll be a free for all. Understand? So, if you have not learned the process of savari correctly, it can be very, very devastating and dangerous. Such a tantric who brings in, you'll see many mediums, right, who used to operate, and even in Europe in the 19th, 18th, 19th century, the Vril Society of Hitler, they had these women who would like channel all these deities and all these gods and goddesses. You will notice that a lot of them have devastating lives, and it is because they have not understood tantra, mantra, and then they've just jumped into savari, and they've just opened up their body, opened up their aura, and just allowed an entity that is negative to take place. A village girl calls me up, she's like, दीदी मुझे हर रोज़ दर्द होता है सर पे. तो मैं गई थी ओझा के पास, तो उन्होंने कहा कि हाँ तुम्हारे ऊपर माता काली का सवारी है. So I mean, this is just bullshit. It doesn't work like that. Okay, Mata Kali is Parashakti, Adi Shakti. She's going to come without sadhana, without anything, start giving you savaris. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it's hard. Please believe me, it's very hard. So savari state is known as avesh, bhavavesh, when you get into that avesh mode. And the family lives of a lot of these people who are not prepared for savari and who allow this savari to happen, their family life is always effed up. Okay, authentic avesh is now almost gone, lost. So now, the Panchamakar by low-level tantrics was literally used to create energy, right? And later on, that Panchamakar was perverted, and now we know what people think of tantra, right? Either it's sex, or it's black magic, or it's a curse, right? That's what they think of tantra. Oh my God, you're a tantric woman. Oh my God, scary. Be scared. Okay, so there. They were perverted, the Panchamakaras, remember that. Now, then started the Bhairavi Chakra. Every other random tantric man who will write to me, hi, do you participate in Bhairavi Chakra? So, no. And Bhairavi Chakra is using calm or lost for Kundalini awakening. But this is the kind of Bhairavi Chakras that are happening now. It's not authentic. It's not correct. Okay, this is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Now, and Bhagwan or Paramatman was forgotten as there was a shift from white magic to the black magic. Kali Yuga एक पैर धर्म के खड़े हैं तो obviously like there was a shift to black magic and people wanted to show off, like people wanted to be like this, what's his name, that David Blaine, right? Or it's just the other guy, that absolutely freaky guy, what's his name? Once that David Blaine is a plainsy, but there was this other guy, like really out there kind of guy, not Houdini per se, but Chris Angel, yeah, Chris Angel, right? I think he was taken in for some kind of hashtag Me Too episode. So yeah, the thing is that tantrics then began to become like charlatans, right? People who were just illusionists. So they would do anything for that illusion, right? To keep that illusion. So this is how everything was perverted. Panchamakara perverted Neo-Tantra, black magic, curse, yak. And Paramatman or Devi was totally forgotten. You want money, you want that person's property, give me money, I'm going to send a kalwa on him. Okay, and this is very real. Because there are, you hear less than 1% of the acoustic spectrum. You see less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. You don't know what is out there. Believe me. So, and this showing off, wanting to show off to people is how they fall lower into consciousness, okay? And Paramatman, Parabrahma, Shiv Shakti were totally forgotten. And Tantrics began to misuse their power. So anyway, I'm going to end my thing now. It's quite long, and looking at Mata MELDI. आकाश बांधू पताल बांधू लगे लगाए किसी के शब्द बांधू भूत बांधू प्रेत बांधू शुट मूट बांधू पानी भरती भनियार बांधू चले मंत्र फुरे वाचा देख माता मसाणी मेलडी आपके रक्षा तावीज और धागे की करमात शक्ति की तमाशा. So hopefully you enjoyed that presentation on the 11th Mahavidya MELDI. And oh, I forgot to tell you about, I told you about Google, right? Google, I told you that please show her Google ka dhoop. And also Kali Haldi. Kali Haldi prayog is super important. So as I said that if you are interested for Shivratri, book Mata MELDI Kavacha, book Mata MELDI Kavacha, and it'll look like this. It'll be filled and sealed with beeswax, and also you can book Mata MELDI Dhaga. Mata MELDI, you can book Moli to tie in your hand. So drop me a mail, tina@tinahips.com, or text me on WhatsApp. If you want to join our group, do join. We love to have you. +91 7030258060 is my number. And it was fascinating to be here today and to discuss one of my favorite goddesses. I don't know when I'll see you again, but Jai Ma MELDI Ki. Alright, take care. And oopsie, I was so much time. La 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 la. Bye bye. Namaste. La la.